backwoods.
Far in the backwoods.
Raised by a bear.
Raised by a bear.
Got cast iron nuts.
Got cast iron nuts.
And 2 coats of hair.
And 2 coats of hair.
Got a stainless steel dick.
Got a stainless steel dick.
Yeah, it's a mean prick.
Yeah, mean prick.
I'm a mean motherfucker.
I'm a mean motherfucker.
Who don't take no shit.
I don't take
Welcome to the ODT Podcast. I was telling Mark the other day that I still haven't figured out how to do the audio stuff.
Oh, okay.
As far as like, I know how to add the audio I have on my memory cards, but I have no idea how to take like those little snippets and throw it in there. What I've been doing whenever I'm trying to like overlay a song or something, there was a technical difficulties part of the podcast that something broke or something, and I had to like restart it. So I show a picture of a monkey with a hammer, and the audio is just me going do 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 do, do. Like, so it's as ghetto as could possibly be.
Love it. I mean, in high school, we did like we did the morning announcements for a little bit in a film class, whatever the hell the class was, and we would like push the boundary. Obviously, I've always pushed the boundaries in life of just like, oh, this is the rule. Like, I'm gonna go as close as I can to it. And we would just sometimes we'd edit things because we'd had the whole thing where you could edit, and sometimes we do the wording off because like we just be making fun of like old Japanese movies that were like dubbed over in English. So we would we would just slightly set our audio off, and it would just. And then we'd speak and read the announcements in a, my buddy was a diver. So in his Speedo and a mullet.
Oh, God.
And it was like in January. So I'm out in the snow, like reading them, shivering. Everyone thought it was hilarious. And that we just, because it was Friday, that Monday, our teacher comes up and she's like, so if you guys do the announcements, I have to watch them first.
Yeah.
Like,
they said I have to make sure you guys don't do it.
Ooh, oops.
That sounds like some shit my oldest would do now. He's doing photography class.
Okay, nice.
And I let him borrow one of my cameras. And one of the jobs I was on, we were literally just sitting on the property.
Okay.
And there were homeless people everywhere. Like everywhere. Anywhere and everywhere. Trying to set up camp on the property, trying to set up camp right outside the property. Like, it got stupid.
Yeah.
So the camera I would use for PI stuff is just full of like the most ridiculous things these guys would do.
For sure.
And it was hilarious. and it was still on that memory card. So when he got it for his photography class, like, I'm like, it is full of just a bunch of homeless people, like nothing inappropriate.
Right.
So like, but in the back of my head, I'm just thinking, oh God, what is he gonna do?
like superimposing himself in there, like with him, like, hey buddy.
But like he's got my sense of humor, so like
nice.
The chances of that happening are very high.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's dude. He nonstop. These kids are just finding ways to get themselves in trouble, and
it's so much easier now too. I mean,
they get ideas from TikTok and YouTube and friends at school.
Well, and because what we're about, how old are you? I'm 33.
Same.
Okay.
I turned 34 this year.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I do too. Well, next January December. I will. But, I mean, you got to think when we were younger, it's like boys will be boys, right? Like, I mean, I definitely got in trouble. Like, I had in-house detention for a whole day because my buddies kept messing with my car. My first car, which it's not like it was a Butte. It was a 1990 Mercury Sable. Like, I mean, it was sweet. Like, I mean, we would jump.
Sounds like it could be sweet.
Yeah, I guess.
So we took the seats out.
But they would always like stick gum under my handles, like stuff like that. That I was just like, I'm getting so pissed off right now. And I told them, if you fuck with my car one more time,
right,
I'm dropping the hammer. They did it. I can't remember what they did. I think it was gum under the handles again. I was like, these stupid asses. So my buddy had a bunch of fluorescent lights in the bed of his truck, and I just took them to my buddy's car and just...
Oh, God.
Well, I told it. not the best thing. I admit it. It's not like.
Well, I mean, nobody's there. You're not hitting it over somebody.
No.
So, I mean, I watched a video of a dude in basic training, it was basic training or like the barracks or in basic training. Yeah. And they took the fluorescent light bulb out, the long one, and was about to hit his buddy over the head with it. And I'm watching this with my kids like, guys, don't ever do this. Yeah. Because there's like little pieces of glass in there. So,
and they're toxic too. I can't remember what's in them to make them so bright. But I'm pretty sure it's toxic to us. Like if you inhale it.
I believe it.
So many things are.
Ketamine.
Probably. Who knows? But yeah.
Not a
bunch of crystal meth. Yeah. But no, I did that, and the principal or vice principal was like, I know you did that. I'm like, what do you mean? Like I was playing it dumb.
Me?
And some kid ratted him. He's like, the cameras saw you. I'm like, there's no damn cameras over there. Like I know, like I know where the cameras are. Like don't tell me that. And yeah, just crazy stuff like that. That it's like, I just
now.
Oh, who knows if it?
Yeah.
Who
probably
knows
get sued or something. The shit. So I got in-home suspension for like an entire half of the school year. Yeah. So this girl that I had dated in elementary school was in middle school with me. And I think I talked about this in my, I have a narcissist episode where I just talk about all the dumb shit I've ever done. So that way no one can talk shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, I already said
it.
You're going to shame me?
Yeah.
But this girl had lied to the principal and said that I pushed her up against the locker and grabbed her inappropriately on the chest. And we're sitting at a lunch table like this, and she's sitting there, and the principal's sitting there, vice principal, and she's lying to his face, straight face and everything. And I'm sitting here, young middle schooler, like, how could you just lie? Like now I'm like, oh, okay, she's
makes
lying.
sense. Yeah.
She's a kid, but she was lying right to his face, and I look right at her, and I'm like, you fucking bitch, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Oops.
Yeah.
Push the line there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can't say that. He's obviously you can't say that in school
for sure.
And he made that very clear by in-school suspension or at-home suspension for an entire like 4 months or something. And dude, it was nuts. Yeah. But if I had said something like that now, it would. God only knows. I'd probably sitting in jail or something as a little 12-year-old. Like it. Yeah. The stuff that you can get in trouble for now that used to be, and then we let a pig in as our senior prank, or like senior pranks. I'd be scared to do any kind of senior prank now because it's either going to be too dark, / hilarious, or somebody's gonna end up getting arrested.
Totally. Yeah, we didn't. I don't even think we didn't do one. My class did. A couple people did. They, I think they took ketchup and mustard all over our gym floor, like ruined it though. So they got in trouble. Yeah, because it's like the
ruin the wood or the laminate or whatever?
like the acidity of it.
Oh no!
I didn't do it just because I didn't even do senior ditch day because I ran track, and I was the captain. And he's like, if you guys ditch, like you're not, because it's supposed to be a Friday. Like if you miss school that Friday, you can't run the track meet Saturday. Like that's how it always is.
You must have really liked sports.
Oh yeah. That time. The rules were like anytime there's a game day, you can't miss that day. Like you can miss the day before in school, but if you miss that day, you're ineligible through CHSA.
Wow.
So
where'd you go to school?
Windsor.
Oh, in Colorado.
Yeah. I'm born and raised here. Yeah.
I'm a transplant. I don't even know.
Disgusting.
No, no. Dude, every time I see people like a California plate I'm like, look at what they're doing to our home.
Can't believe it.
Like, I think that's everybody that moved here within like the last. It's been since 2015, end of 2015. Okay. So like I've been here for a minute.
For sure.
My youngest is born and raised here so far. He's only 1 and some change. But my other boys, this is really all they really remember. And other than that, they have been in the Army life, moving, PCS in different places. So I think the only place my oldest really remembers is El Paso, and
Okay.
I mean it's easy to forget that place. Hopefully.
Oh, I bet. Well, I mean, how long were you in?
Almost 8 years.
Okay.
7 and some change.
Yeah, I did like 5 and some change. I did 1 contract because ours were 4 years with a voluntary 5th. There's no voluntary about it. You just had to sign it. But I mean, that was just because all of our training was so long. Being a CB, you do boot camp, your A school.
Being a what?
A CB.
What's a CB?
Like combat battalions in the Navy. So
I thought you were in the Army. I don't know. Why I thought you were in the Army.
Nope.
God.
I was a CB, a dirt
You just
sailor.
seemed cool, and I was like, all right, this guy's not like a total douche.
Well, it's because I
Right?
wasn't on a ship.
No,
that's why.
There'd be a little more left.
Oh, yeah. I love the Navy. Yeah.
I love messing with my father-in-law about that. 'Cause, yeah. Man.
I would have never, because our whole boot camp is like based around being on a ship. Like it simulates it. And anytime I told him, like, what's your rate, recruit? Like, oh yeah, builder or BU. Like, you don't have to remember any of this. I remember just being like, why am I here? Like, why am I doing this boot camp? Like,
what was your MOS? Like, or
builder.
Like
rate. My rate was builder, so I just construction man.
build?
Well, we would do
Like houses or like actual structures?
yeah.
Or?
So the CBs
okay.
are broken into technically 4 different.
Like categories?
Well, I mean, there's multiple rates, but it's like Alpha Company, Bravo Company, Charlie Company, and headquarters. So Alpha is equipment operators and mechanics. So like they run the equipment. I mean, everyone runs equipment. If you get a license, you can run equipment, and they prefer that a lot of the times because they got their own stuff going on. Bravo Company was UTs, so plumbers, and then CEs, electricians. Charlie Company, that's where I was builders and steel workers, and then headquarters is usually EAs. So they just like come out and do all the like, I mean, which we learn it too. I technically don't remember what EA stands for, but essentially they just do all the like, make sure you're staying within the blueprints.
Oh, like safety coordinators or
well, we would
OSHA.
We all would fall under that because you would go to like safety schools or QC, so quality controls. You would do that, but they essentially would come out and just make sure everything's up to elevation. They're running all the measurements and testing the soils, testing your concrete for making sure it's up to par. But with builders, we mainly did like horizontal and vertical. So I did a lot of concrete, building like SWA huts. We did a lot of camp maintenance stuff, like in Afghanistan. I started out as camp maintenance, and then when we had a giant flood actually in Kandahar when I was there. I don't remember how it started, but it was like it flooded us pretty bad, and we just built a gym for ourselves in our little compound. So it got flooded, so we had to pull our equipment out. Well, I don't remember what I was doing that day. I had to do something. And one of the TIC teams was back, so Tactical Insertion Construction Team. And one of the guys there, they were, again, moving all this gym equipment, and something smashed his hand and just destroyed one of his fingers. Oh, no. So he had to have surgery, and so they needed a replacement. So I ended up taking his spot. Because, I was just, like, strong and like, oh, what do you want me to do? Okay. Like,
pick things up and put
yeah. Well, and you're so, you know how it is at a boot camp. You were just so brainwashed and like, I'm doing 20 years. It was like 3 years in. I was just like, what the? I'm not doing 20 years. Get me the hell out of here.
That's my favorite thing to hear now is like anybody that's in the moment.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, I only got 17 years left. I think I'm just I'm gonna finish it. And I'm like, dude,
okay.
Have you been divorced yet? Have you you got any illegitimate have you deployed? And even if you don't do anything on a deployment, it's still like you're in a jail cell. You have a little, not even a 10x10, like it's like a little 4x6 spot for you to sleep, do whatever.
Oh,
And then you have a bunch of other dudes surrounded you in a tent. And if you're lucky if you have Connex, like,
oh yeah,
it's if you're on a fob. I some of the platoons that were in our battery were in different sites.
Oh, ours too.
Because I was artillery while I was in Afghanistan.
That's cool.
And it was the only cool thing about that was we got to shoot our 777 on the 4th of July.
Oh hell yeah!
In Afghanistan.
Hell yeah! Okay.
Dude, it was it was
sick.
pretty cool. But it took like a whole day or two to get approved.
Oh, I bet.
Because it had to go through like every single level. But it was pretty badass because we got to do it on the 4th of July.
Oh yeah. See, I wasn't there.
We wrote
then.
America on the side.
There you go. All right. Yeah. America.
Pretty much. But that was like the only. It just, if you're a fobbit or whatever, like you're still not. You're around people, but it's the same people. Every day for almost a year.
Oh yeah.
Like, and you might be able to talk to your significant others, family, whatever.
Oh yeah.
If the Wi-Fi isn't out, or if something did get blown up, like our defect that gotten blown up before we got there, it still sucks. So if you haven't deployed or anything, and technically now I think we're considered. I'm drawing a huge blank where we're not at war.
No, like,
peacetime, or whatever. Like
we're not at war
because we left Afghanistan.
We're in 3 proxy wars. Yeah. Okay.
What's a proxy war?
That our feet aren't there, our troops aren't there. Yeah.
I was just watching a video of them talking about the border wall back when Trump was president, and they're like, he wants to spend $5 billion.
Oh, I know.
Do you know what you could buy with $5 billion? And then it cuts to them now like, hey, like it's just $60 billion.
Don't sweat it. Don't worry. Our debt.
Why are they freaking out?
Each human only has to pay $250,000 in debt. Who cares?
That's not even counting the people that are. I'm not trying to hop on a soapbox or anything.
Go ahead,
dude.
I hear you.
The amount of people that are coming. I got nothing to do all day, so like I'm just watching TikToks and shit.
Oh yeah,
and people are getting like $6,000-$8,000. Yeah. Like if you are a family of 10, which I don't know how many people this is really happening with, but if you're a family of 10 and you came here illegally and you're a part of the programs that they've set up in New York, Chicago, Illinois, or whatever, they get like $10,000. Yeah. And if you're just like a family of 3 or more, I think it's $6,000. Yeah. That's like a $70,000 salary.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. My math might be off.
No, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close.
You know what I mean? Like that's a stupid amount of money.
That's a good amount.
Just
you go.
Couldn't give it to there shouldn't be any homeless vets.
No,
there should not be a homeless vet in America at all.
No,
but like you can help so many other people that are really needing it.
Totally.
And
even up disability. I mean, 100% is pushing $4,000, right?
100%.
Me too.
4,200 with my wife and kids.
Oh, totally. Like it's not bad, right? But I'm saying
I might have to cut that out just in case my ex-wife is trying. No, I'm kidding.
Just
come and get it, baby.
Yeah,
no,
you want some of this crush? No, no. I hear you though. Like I'm the same way. It's too many people are so stuck in like I'm watching Netflix, I'm doing this, doing that, and it's like it'll fix itself. It's like, dude, there is, and they have rough estimates, right, of the amount of illegals that have come in. But, I mean, dude, it's like, 32 of our states? They trump the amount of people in 32 of our states? Yeah. That is crazy.
I want to say it was 3 million. As far as the number, I want to say last year, with just that year combined, it was around 2 to 3 million people that have come in illegally. And it's about 50,000 a month, or it's probably a lot more than that. 50,000 a month, and it's not like now. It's more people literally jumping over the fences, busting through, getting themselves shot. But it's a lot of it is them just getting through in the parts that don't have a wall. Because we didn't need a wall. Getting through and then just standing there and going through the process. Yeah, they don't have to.
And being coached.
Yeah,
they're being coached through. They get
with
pamphlets. Yeah, they get pamphlets on the other side that say like, say you feel threatened, say this, say that. That's all you have to say, and you get asylum. Yeah. It's like that is crazy. And with the money part, It's like, please tell me how they're not buying votes.
Dude.
Because they're trying to push for them to vote. And it's like, this is crazy.
It blows my mind, the stuff that, man, this is going to be a fun podcast.
Yeah.
He just agrees with everything I agree with.
Well, bro, I'm sorry, just open your eyes.
Yeah.
Right?
And I consider myself like a hippie conservative type guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm more that.
I love guns.
Oh, yeah.
Second Amendment, First Amendment.
Oh, yeah.
What were regular things for older liberals back in the day, like
Totally.
old-fashioned liberals were more, Second Amendment, free speech.
Yeah.
That's it. And the second you start messing with that, it's a recipe for disaster, because now I love free speech and I love the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
What they're doing now with the people the Palestinian protesters at colleges, at NYU,
the bridges,
Columbia.
They closed all those bridges. Like, crazy.
It's crazy that I think I might be wrong, but I remember seeing something about it happening in Texas and the Texas law enforcement coming out wherever this college is, coming out and like pushing them out, like get the hell out off of our campus and stuff like that. I think people should still be able to protest
100%, even if I disagree. Like I'm not like, oh, we need to say ceasefire in there. I'm like, no one's really good. I'm sorry. In any war, there's really no good and bad, right? Like, yes, there were. I would say like World War II, right?
One guy's terrorist is another guy's freedom fighter.
Totally. Like you have to try to look through the lenses of each side, right? That's what I try to do. And even with Afghanistan and that, right? They could have saw us as invaders. We pretty much were. Like,
I don't blame anybody for feeling the way they do after 9/11. Like, I'd say after 4 years after 9/11, it's like, okay, moving forward, I don't blame anybody else for flipping the hell out, because we blew a lot of stuff up. We did a lot of things that were not
civilian casualties. Like it, and again, no war is perfect, and I'm not saying I'm like, oh, I support the Taliban. But no, like there are evil people in the world, totally, but being in war and not even saying I was like front lines, like I was but wasn't. It's like I didn't have to shoot at anybody, right? So like
you weren't standing there with a bayonet or something like
no. So I'm not trying to like, or even compare like I went to war. It's like I was in a war zone. Yes, I went to war.
We had a Domino's at CAFs.
Seriously.
TGI Fridays was great.
Yes, Kandahar was.
I wasn't on CAF, but
I was. For
you know what I mean?
It was awesome. Yeah, it was a giant city.
Yeah,
that got mortared about every day, right? Which I mean, people did die from that. And like,
do you remember the poo pond?
Yes, I do. That's what flooded. That was one of the that's what flooded when we were there. That was part of it. Yeah, and people were jumping into it. I remember being like, "I'm not touching this."
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. So like when
not into where the water treatment
no. But like because like I said, it flooded. Oh yeah, people were like like jumping in and people taking pictures. Like, bro, that's hilarious.
Snow angel.
Yeah. I'm like, that's fucking disgusting. Like, that's all gray water or shit water, whatever. Like,
I would say that, and I would tell people this whenever I would try and explain what the poo pond was. I'd be like, I'm 90% sure there were some fish in there, like the Simpsons, with like 4 eyes and like legs and a weird arm.
Probably.
Because all that water treatment plant is full of is poop, pee, and,
whatever
man
else.
Juice.
Yes, yeah.
Because all these guys are doing is beating off the porta potties.
Yeah, totally.
It's so there was definitely something growing in there. But even when it would rain, I'm like staying inside to try and not get wet, because it's like, what do you think was evaporated?
Yeah,
the water around here.
Yeah, you're like, all the lakes and ponds that are around. It's like, no, it's that. Yeah. I totally forgot about the poop pond. I forgot about that. It was so disgusting. God.
I was on there to do, because I was also on there for a little bit, for like 4 or 5 weeks, but I was doing the Crow system class.
Okay.
Which was badass.
The Crow, right, that's the one that indicates.
It's on the
like,
MRAPs. It's on
okay.
the guard
Yep,
towers.
got it.
And you get the little joystick.
Yep.
TV.
Okay.
It was badass
Okay.
because if you get that thing sighted in correctly,
Oh yeah.
the way it's supposed to be, you can
I bet.
do some damage.
I bet. Yeah.
And it's accurate. Night vision, heat vision.
Oh yeah.
You feel like the Predator.
Yeah.
Like pretty much, dude.
Your three laser.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Whenever I had to go in the guard tower, I have videos of me doing voices because I'm sitting in there all by myself for 12, 18-hour shift.
You get so bored and kind of you go insane.
Yeah.
Like you really do a bit, and especially combat deployments. I remember coming back and being like, I feel like an animal. Like you go from like you see men and I mean there's women too, but everyone's in uniform.
Yeah.
Then you come back and you're seeing people dressed normally and so on, and you're just like, oh, girl, girl,
Bunga, bunga.
yeah, hata, yeah, dude, well, Afghanistan for sure, but when I went to Somalia, my last deployment, that was we were in Baladogle, and that was fun. It was fun. Don't get me wrong, I had a great time.
Was it beautiful? Because the only thing I think of when I hear Somalia is like, I'm the captain now.
Yeah,
like that
and
kind of
Black Hawk
Trinidad
Down
or whatever.
Yeah. No, it was like red clay pretty much everywhere, and just really bushes, like ginormous, thorny, terrible bushes. That was pretty much the landscape. Like we got to go in a helicopter and fly around with the army, and oh man, it was pretty funny because they're just like, I hope someone does something. I hope. And the guy's like on the minigun. He's like, I just fucking hope so. I'm sitting there.
He just keeps remote activate.
Yeah,
getting it ready.
Well,
I'm not going to shoot nothing, but.
Yeah, we were with the SEALs and that.
Oh, man.
That was fun. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a good time. We, again, I just did construction but man, we built a lot of stuff there. That was a hell of a time. What a good time. I had one of the best Christmases there when I was in the military and New Year's.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
I can't remember. I got lucky. I wasn't stuck there during Christmas. I was stuck there from January to I think October or something. I can't remember specifically, but you're right. You come back and you feel like a cave person, you know, because you've just been stuck around a bunch of dudes farting in a tent.
Oh yeah,
and peeing in bottles and putting it under their cots, and it's disgusting.
Oh yeah, no, because I deployed 4 times.
Oh damn!
And I went, in 5 years. It was because my first deployment was, like I said, Afghanistan. Then we had a short home port, that next one, for 7 months. And I was up at Camp Shelby the whole time working, which I wanted that because all the classes and training. I don't know. I just wanted, at that point, I was so gung-ho, and I didn't, you're A school for us. It's like you learn the basics of construction, but when you really get on a site,
right?
Like you were just like, oh, I learned this in A school, and they're like, what the hell are you doing? Like again,
shut up,
right? it was a good base to build, but so I learned a lot of concrete there. We did some block. So it was fun. We had a ton of fun up there because we were away from the command.
Right.
So like it was just fun. So we were away. Did that. It was exhausting, don't get me wrong. And our field exercise was exhausting also because we had to pretend to play the game, but so stupid.
My favorite thing was when people would make up rules whenever they are coming to visit the fob or something. And it's like, why is this happening? Why is that like I was like, shut up. Please
You're not here.
Just go.
Yeah, go away.
Right.
Things are fine.
You're super huge dick.
Yeah. Dude, well,
I love you.
God, dude, yes. I hear you. It's like, bro, we're fine. We're fine out here.
We got this.
Yeah, like everything's going fine. We have to like slow our work down because now you're here.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we got to be safe.
Got to
like,
tiptoe.
Had no issues.
They started bringing in Afghan soldiers, or Afghan soldiers were already there, but they started bringing them in, and they were training them on the howitzers. It wasn't I don't think they were training them on the 777s. It was on something else, but you just get the vibe that none of the people there wanted to be there. The Afghans,
Oh yeah.
like they just don't care. You see this in documentaries as well, where they're like just getting high or
caught.
Yeah,
doing
like
whatever.
one. There was some video I was watching where one of the SF guys, they were training them, and then they found out that one of the guys had done something to like a young boy that would come visit the fob, because like they pick up trash, they take it out.
Oh yeah,
like
totally.
That. But he found out about this, brought it up to that guy's command, and like nothing happened. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to watch the video again, but like basically he was like, if you don't do something, I'm going to. He's going to be gone, and not in the way you think. And then another video. Did you guys have those blimps?
I have a funny story about that. But
go for
ahead.
it. No.
So
it's probably exactly what I was gonna say.
No, dude. So
they're fucking donkeys, or they're fucking goats.
Well, they saw that, yeah. But we had a couple people on our command get in trouble for buying weed out there off an Afghan. Yeah, they caught him on the blimp. Like, bro, how do you know that thing's up there? It's not like it just is like not doing anything.
The guy operating it, he's like bored out of his mind.
Oh, totally. They have nothing else to do. Yeah. It's not like they can be sitting on their phone.
Yeah.
Like you're in a top secret room, most likely, right? Or at least a very secure room.
Like a skiff or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would that qualify for skiff level. I don't even really understand what a skiff is other than it's sealed. No one can like chit chat and stuff, or like bring phones. I've never been on a skiff.
Well, I'm assuming it would be right because you could be seeing, like war crimes or information that needs to be kept quiet, or troop movements and things that couldn't be out. So I'm assuming it probably is at that level. But yeah, 2 of our guys got caught buying weed. I was like, dude, you couldn't wait till you went on leave or something? Like, what? Really? Like, you had to fix in that much?
Yeah, I needed it so bad.
We had so many dirtbags. We had so many, man.
That was the one thing I was proud of myself for not doing. I did everything else stupid while I was in, but, like, I never had that, I need it, kind of feeling. And
I didn't either.
When, what's that stuff that you buy at head shops? It's not bath salts.
K2.
Is
fake weed.
Yeah.
K2. They call it K2 here.
There was another name that they called it, but I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We tried that.
I heard that is crazy. I'm like, why would I do a synthetic? Yeah. Again, even...
Well, I was also 18.
Okay. I was 20, so I was a little older.
I was an idiot.
Oh, we all are.
Well, it's not going to pop hot.
Oh, yeah. Well, dude...
Yeah.
There were so many... I never understood that. We had so many drug issues with the CBs. And right when maybe it's after our first deployment or right around that ballpark, I was still pretty new. God, what is it called right now? I forget what it's called at the moment. It's when people like piss and shit in bottles, and that
I know what you're talking about.
And then put balloons on it, and it'll ferment, and then they huff it.
Yep.
Someone got caught with like tons of bottle, like of their poop. Yeah. To get high, and I'm like, you need to, like, what's wrong with you?
Or air dusters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
I didn't know that you could take an orange peel, and I'm not going to, like, go in on what to do, but, like, basically you just let it mold.
Yeah.
And then you scrape that off, and I forget what else this guy did with it, but he's like, no, it'll get you high. And I'm like,
it's crazy.
Dude, why?
Yeah. No, I don't.
You need it that bad? Like,
I don't condemn any of that, by the way. That is... crazy. It's like if you just want to get high, like just go do whatever.
Yeah, like
there's other ways to get high too.
Get into the religion or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, find Islam. No,
that would be. I'd be the worst person to talk to if I saw somebody that I had just seen, huffing paint or like doing something crazy, and then like a month later you see them, they got like the whole getup. They're like praying.
Like, bro,
I'd be like, okay,
yeah,
all right, relax.
Yeah,
you found yourself like,
all right, Charlie Day. Yeah, him off. It's Always Sunny. I watch that so much. I make so many references when he's like huffing all the paint. And
are you huffing paint?
Yeah. His face is just silver right here. Yeah.
No, the leprechaun one where he's been drinking the paint.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, he's a leprechaun. Like, we can't keep. He's a hostage.
I don't know if you're a man or a leprechaun. But we're going to find out today what color you bleed. Like, Jesus. Or the Night Man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Dude. The music. Oh, such a great show. The older ones were great. They've kind of become PC, which is...
Oh, I stopped watching it after... I watched a couple episodes when... not Charlie. That one got super buff. And
Mac.
Yeah. Yeah, when he got like super ripped and he's like, I did it for the bar.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Well,
our avatars.
Yeah.
Those are fun. They're funny. Yeah, these newer seasons, you could tell they kind of have. It's like, again, comedy is supposed to push the boundaries or even cross them a bit. But then.
It's like they're trying not to get canceled.
No. And they even talk about it on their podcast of like some of the ones they do blackface, which it's not like I'm like for, it's not like I'm doing it, but they're making a point, right? And they're making a joke. And in the one they do Lethal Weapon 5, that episode, I love them. Like, you can't watch them on Hulu or anything because they do blackface. Yeah. And it's like, bro, it's a show. And they're talking about blackface,
why it's stupid.
Why it's bad, and why it's it's like inappropriate to do. And they're like, okay, well, we'll settle this discussion. And that's when Dee is like a substitute teacher at a high school, and so she's like, yeah, we're gonna bring the kids in and watch this film. And they're like, oh yeah, okay. And I think they're gonna do what movie is that?
Is that the one where she's a news reporter or something?
No. This is with the Lethal Weapon 5.
Oh, okay.
Because they film it all. And they're like, well, let's just show them and we'll have them decide, like, what's bad. Because halfway through it, Dennis and Max switch to switch characters, which they play. I can't remember their characters in the movie.
I actually met the guy that was in, not Mel Gibson.
Yeah, Mel Gibson and God, what is his name?
I know.
He's dead now. I can't think of his name.
He died?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You're talking about the black guy, right?
Yeah. I can't think of his name right now. Look it up. Yeah, my phone's off. I turned my phone off, but yeah, they switch roles halfway through. And when he's playing Mel Gibson, Dennis, he has like an Australian accent because he's from Australia, even though in the movie he doesn't at all. So he's like, the funny thing is they're trying to show like, well, blackface is bad, but then he totally is stereotyping him. It's like an Australian, but he has to have that accent, and it's just hilarious.
Danny Glover.
And yes.
I bet anybody that's watching this is like, fuck
you stupid ass.
Danny Glover.
Great in Predator 2, by the way, also. Not the best Predator, but love it.
He made it good. Is he? I don't think he's dead.
I thought he was, because they talked about doing another. I heard Mel Gibson speaking on another Lethal Weapon, and I thought he was saying it'll be tough to do it without Danny. But I totally.
Well, dude. When I met him, he was in a walker.
Oh, I bet.
Like,
you got to think.
Had a nurse with him.
He should have retired, and he wasn't kidding. In Lethal Weapon, he's probably just
too
playing
old
himself.
For this
shit. I'm too old for this shit.
I think he's still alive. 77 years old.
Okay, I could be wrong. Sorry about that,
dude,
Danny.
Well, I got lucky. I got to go up there with Matt up in Utah at the Sundance Film Festival.
Oh, okay, cool.
And we got to do some work with Kevin Bacon. And nice. Just escorting him around. Kevin Bacon and the chick from Step Brothers, who
the urinal
like,
one.
Stay golden, pony boy.
Yeah, the one that she pisses in the urinal. Yeah,
dude, and she fed me gummy bears.
Oh,
she was the funniest. She was awesome.
Probably, yeah.
And for her, she was like, what guy is this? Oh, the security guy. Like, she probably has no idea who I am. But like the entire time, I was like, oh. Hell yeah! I watched this movie like a million times while I was deployed.
Oh yeah,
but she was great, and I got to meet Nick Offerman.
Okay, he's hilarious,
dude. Yeah. I went to go take a piss, and as I'm going to the bathroom door, he walks out and he's like, "Good looking there," and I'm like, "Oh God."
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and I saw the chick from that '70s show, the tall redhead.
Yeah, I know. Donna, but I don't know her actual name. Yeah,
Nobody-
right.
No one knows her real
No,
name.
she was in Orange and the New Black.
She's
too.
Donna.
Yeah,
That's it.
hey Donna. She's like, I hate you. Yeah, my name's not Donna.
The dude from Roadhouse and that cowboy show. Ducks like this.
Oh
Really
yeah,
deep
yeah.
voice. I know. I can't. I'm drawing a huge blank on everyone's name.
Yeah, I know he has the white mustache.
Yes.
Always easy talking idea. Yeah.
Well, he walked up to me and Matt while we were in there, and he puts his hand on Matt's shoulder, and he goes, "Thank you for what you boys do, son." I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I guess you're welcome. He's kind of high right now, just hanging out.
Yeah. he walks out, and then me and Matt are looking at each other, and he's like, "Did you just see that?" I'm like, "Yeah." He basically made out with you.
Yeah.
Like, that was beautiful.
Didn't he do the Jack Links commercials or something
Yeah.
not too long ago? Yeah.
Well, he's been in Family Guy as a voice character.
Yeah.
But dude, it was really fun experience
For
'cause
sure.
We got to see that place. That man, it's I've gotten to do some really fun gigs, but it really varies on
Totally,
what
I
you get to
bet.
do. The ones up in Minneapolis.
Oh.
Was that the one that you got to go up there for?
Yes. On a day's notice because they needed somebody.
Well, yeah, they need somebody right now
Yeah.
so that you can stand on top of a
roof.
store and
Yeah.
maybe hit some people with a fire hose.
Didn't even do that because we were off the whatever that hardware store is off the highway.
Not Jack's.
I don't even.
Yeah,
Whatever it is, the hardware store out there.
that crappy place in Illinois.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, dude, we were the one off the highway. I'm like, who's riding out here? Like, I don't think anybody. But that was super. That was a wild because we'd be up all night, right? And then
Menards.
Menards,
was the name,
that's it.
Yeah.
And I, during the day, was like, wow, I can't like go to bed now because I know I'll
Right.
just like wake up at like noon. Like, well, okay, we got to work all night. And I was like, this isn't going to work. So I'd like force myself to stay awake. And I go run through which is kind of wild to say. Like, hey, I just go for runs, like unarmed, whatever, would just go running.
Yeah.
But it was like a ghost town during the day because so many people are up at night rioting. Like, I'm so sleepy. I rioted myself to sleep. Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're
that's
so
right.
cute
Yeah.
when they're done
Yeah,
rioting.
they're all tuckered out. Yeah, dude. So I just run, and I remember it was just so eerie, but also I'm like, it shouldn't be this way.
I'm
Like,
gonna
this is
pop some
crazy.
pictures up.
Yeah.
When I edit this
Yeah.
of the like cars on fire or
Oh.
not on fire, but like completely burnt
yeah.
to the ground. Like
Totally.
just the way it looked out there, the
Dude.
buildings that got burned.
It's like a
down.
war zone.
It really was.
Yeah.
I got a really badass picture of the street signs
Okay.
where George Floyd and the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
incident
yeah.
happened. Crossing like the street signs
Mhm.
with smoke in the background.
Oh
like,
man.
it was. I make it sound like, oh man, it was so awesome. I got
Right.
some really good pictures, but like it lost its effect on me as far as like it being meaningful
Oh, totally.
after I saw some of the stuff I saw.
Yeah.
People literally pulling their phones out, and I think I told you about
Mm-hmm.
this. A lady who had like her little 7-year-old. They go over by. They had drawn in chalk outline.
Yeah, yeah.
Like an angel because George Floyd
yeah.
was an angel.
For sure.
And sorry, that's gonna sound horrible.
I get what you mean. I'm under.
But-
yeah.
But like there were memorials and all that set up, and this lady literally sits down, takes her phone out, and goes, "Okay, are you ready?"
Oh yeah.
Crying, and
Bing.
her has like her kid looking down,
Mhm.
praying, and then goes, "Clink, okay, you ready to go?" Like seeing
Dude.
that and just listening to some of the pretentious college girls
Oh, yeah.
that were there with their boyfriends or something that they dragged to the
Mhm.
whole setup. And God forbid if you tell anybody that you're there escorting like any of the big three name
yeah.
news agencies, they'll, if it's not the one that they like, then
Oh,
they're going to yell at you. So
Totally.
we would straight up lie to people like, oh yeah, no, we're with that one with the N in
Yeah.
it, like
The two
and the
N's.
C. Like,
not gonna say which one, but yeah, put your thinking caps on, you'll figure it out.
But like the stuff that people were doing out there, it complete lawlessness.
Oh,
and if
yeah.
you weren't of not even a minority, but if you didn't have the exact same look of views, like you have a look that you look like you have certain views.
Yep.
And if you didn't have that look, or you didn't have a mask all the way over your nose, or you didn't have a mask on at all, like people would have no problem screaming at you.
Yeah, dude.
And it was like a power thing for a lot of people. And I did have some good conversations where I feel like I actually had people use their brain.
Yeah.
And I was like, so what, how does this make sense? Or I wouldn't start it out aggressively at all.
Which you shouldn't. You never should with discussions or debates. Like,
right.
Name calling that won't get you anywhere.
Yeah.
It just shows like you're a jackass ultimately.
Right.
But,
Well, I didn't want to start the conversation off with like, look at all this stupid stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
Can you believe this? Because then it shuts them down and everything. So what I would do is just wait for them to start talking to me. I'd be like, oh, nice. What I'm actually here with a couple journalists, and they're trying to make sure that they can get as much information as they can and get people's thoughts and views out there. What are you guys doing here? Are you guys here with another group or something like that? And they'd start spilling the beans. And a lot of these people just want attention.
Totally.
Because wherever they're at, they're not getting it or whatever.
And that's what social media like breeds. That's why I don't have any. Like I watch YouTube, but even that I have to like cut myself off some because the algorithm, you watch one whatever video on this and then all you see is that. It's like, dude, Jesus. And it makes you go crazy at times, right? Like I feel insane. Like I'm completely sober right now. So it's like you have no, like I can't go get high and be like, well, okay. Ooh. And just, like just think about whatever random thoughts I used to.
Right. So
yeah, you just fall down those rabbit holes and dude,
you start looking up 9/11 truthers.
Yes.
Wait, okay, this part doesn't make sense.
Wait a sec.
Why did Building 9 fall like that?
Yeah.
Then it goes to another rabbit hole.
Totally. Like, wait, the beams, what's the heat they can withstand? 5,000 degrees, and jet fuel only burns at like 3,000 degrees?
Somebody needs to look into this stuff.
Jeez. Yeah.
And
dude,
now you start getting like Oklahoma City bomb stuff.
You're like, what the?
I don't think he did it.
Yeah. He was framed.
Really? A special forces guy would forget to put his license plate on?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Probably he sounded like a psycho. Yeah, I most likely did. Duh.
There's my big deal there was just trying to get their point of view.
Totally.
Of like, how does this make sense to you? You think this is the way to go about it?
Sure.
Burning shit down. Burning your own community down. And I grew up in really shitty communities outside of, I think we lived in Baltimore at one point.
Okay.
We lived outside, I don't know if you know the East Coast that well, but we lived outside of DC and Manassas area.
I've only heard the worst there, so
it was, dude, it was pretty shitty. And if I'm sitting in my own community and I'm thinking, man, look at these turds, look at what they did, they killed this man or they did whatever. I'm not gonna burn down my Target, my Walmart, my whatever. I'm gonna go to the rich neighborhood and I'm gonna. Oh, I think I messed with my thing. I'm gonna go do something there instead of burning my own stuff down, because at least then they'll be like, okay, we either need to shut these protesters down or we need to fix whatever the issue is.
Protesters. Yeah. Sorry, not to correct you. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, dude, I don't know what a protester is and what a rioter is, because I've seen videos of people saying this is a mostly peaceful protest.
Yeah, with fire going on, and you're like,
in places that I've been to where it's like, there's literal fire behind you.
You should not just be standing here so calmly, like, oh, hey, well, welcome back.
I don't know why these people are standing outside their businesses with weapons. Yeah. It's like, they don't want you to burn it down.
Yeah, duh.
Like, I don't blame them at all.
No. I would have been, well, I mean, look why we got hired to go there.
Yeah.
To literally
just property.
Yeah. Like,
hearing people say that stuff is like,
I could just
insurance will take care of it. And it's
rip
like,
my hair out.
what about the small businesses that are right next to that large? But yeah, you know what? Target's gonna bounce back from this. I hope. You know, like
even though they're leaving everywhere at masses now, all large businesses, anywhere that
they're doing it to themselves.
Well, that and any
theft.
Well, yeah, that they made theft. They're like, well, under $1,000, who cares? Or like, you can't stop them.
Have you seen that video of Gavin Newsom? He was at like a Walgreens or something, and somebody's literally stealing some shit. Yeah. And he's like, "Aren't you guys going to stop him?" And she's like, "Well, we can't do anything." Yeah. Or she said something.
It was like, you made it so we can't stop them.
I don't know if she did that. I wish she did, because that would be the best soundbite and the best, like, in your face, dude.
He's such a jerk off.
I feel like a lot of the people at that level have no idea what the real world is like. And I'm only saying that because I've gotten, thankfully, with security contracting, you get to work with a lot of rich assholes.
Totally. Yeah.
And I've seen people have conversations that just make no sense at all.
Yeah.
Like,
well, again, they're living up here. Like, they don't have to live in the real world, right? They have, I mean, I doubt they even have to do their own laundry. You know what I mean? Like, think about that. Like, oh, they don't even have to cook their own food or laundry. That alone detaches you from normal people, right? That's one simple thing. But I think there's some of them are aware. They just don't care because they are in power. Yeah. And as we know, people who get in power, some it goes straight to their head. Like, I would see it in the military. You would be the same rank, and then they would, make E5 or 6 or chief, whatever, right?
Do that switch.
Oh yeah, you would just
forgot
see
where
switch.
You came from.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh hey Jerry, you'd be like, that's BU1 to you. Bro, we were just drunk last weekend together. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what?
I watched you eat a lollipop out of a strip.
Yeah, right? Yeah, no, really, that kind of stuff. And you just see, like, that's very normal for people. And that's the Stanford prison experiment. Shows it exactly.
Oh, yeah, with the guards.
With the guard, where they randomly divvied them up as guards and prisoners. And you instantly saw that someone who took that power to their head, they let it. Yeah. Judge Dredd in there. And then the other people were so submissive they didn't want to step on his toes, so they just went along with it. Yeah. Like, it shows perfectly all the different things of, you want to go to even Germany way back when, right? Again, it was like,
put your mask on.
That.
Get out.
Yeah.
Put your mask.
Totally. Like, all that. It just shows.
This is even after Fauci or whoever is literally saying, the masks, they only help a little bit.
If you double mask, it'll do double. If you get 30%, it'll do 60. So if you wear 3, it'll do 90. And if you wear 4, I don't. Whatever. Who cares? Everything's so proven now. I'm like, I'm sorry. If you haven't just taken a little bit of, like, dipping your toes in and reading anything or listening to anything that cites their sources, I'm sorry. Like, the brainwashing and all that, the propaganda, whatever you want to call it, it's worked on you. And
don't get me wrong, at the beginning of COVID, I was freaking out.
I was terrified.
I was spraying shit down, like the whole 9 yards.
Just constantly, like, I better wash my hands. Yeah.
After about a month, I was like, all right, things aren't clicking. I'm watching more news. I'm watching more videos of people that aren't from the news. I'm listening to what they're saying.
Yeah.
Doctors that, I think there was, like, definitely a handful of crazy people that were like, you don't need to take the vaccine. You don't need to take anything because God will protect you or something.
Oh,
all right.
For sure.
I don't think that'll work with viruses, but I see where your heart's
at.
Totally. When you're listening to other people that Joe Rogan's podcast specifically, and him, I think it was Brett Weinstein or I think that's his name. Him and his wife. Both of them are very informed. They know what they're talking about, and he had a couple more people on that specifically knew what was going on when it came to viruses, immunity. If you strengthen your immune system, by working out, going outside, breathing in air,
sunlight,
which a lot of places were saying you can't do. You can't go swim.
No.
They arrested a dude who was surfing by himself.
I know.
In the ocean.
Oh yeah. or you remember in California, they were filling skate parks with sand.
Yeah.
You can't be out here, you punk ass kids. It just showed that it was them testing the waters of what can we do? What can we tell these people that they'll just go, yes, you are correct, yes. It perfectly showed it all.
When I saw people being able to protest, and that's allowed, and people can't go to church.
Oh yeah,
that's when it really became like a. What are we doing? You can't like. And I had just gotten COVID already.
Oh yeah,
so I'm
like
sitting here like
times.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I lost like 20 pounds. It was while I was going through police academy, and I went from like 250 to 218.
Yeah,
it was not that big of a gap, but
yeah,
my neighbors were looking at me like, did you start running? Like, why?
Did that Corvus get you?
Yeah.
Did Corvus take you down? Yeah.
It was bad, but I'm not going to limit other people's freedoms so that I can feel better about it.
No.
And a lot of, like you were saying, a lot of people, it's not hard for them to make that switch of totalitarianism.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
But
we could say it together.
Yeah, right. But those kind of people that have no problem once they get any form of power becoming a tyrant.
Yeah. Well, it's easy. And again, because I always remember going through school and they're like learning about World War II, right, with the Nazis and them saying like, oh, I would have never. It's like, bro, you don't know until you're there. And we were there. Obviously not to that extreme by any means.
Just watch what you did. You're definitely the next door neighbor that calls the SS or something.
Do you remember after all that and after Biden got elected off I-25, they had that FBI put up a giant billboard that was like talking about racism or white supremacy and like, call us at this number.
I know.
Oh, yeah. Coming back from Denver over by... where was that? It's right around the Loveland exits. Right before. It might have been after Johnstown. Somewhere. It was right in that ballpark. I remember seeing it and being like, what? Like, you seriously put a billboard up? Like, this is crazy. And I'm not saying people aren't bad and like white supremacy.
You're never going to get rid of
like,
racism.
No, it'll never be gone. And it is what it is. Right? And like words and actions are different. Right? Like, that's why comedy's great, because comedy pushes that line, and it's like, this might be racist, but again, it's comedy. You have to have context.
I'm not going to not let you say something.
You should, whoever said, I can't remember. I think Jordan Peterson, so many people have said it, but like, when freedom of speech is great because you have to allow people saying things that you hate to say it.
Yeah, I would rather have a conversation with somebody that is a complete racist, that has bad ideas, and all these other things, so that you can then rebuttal what they're saying with good ideas. Yeah, that's the only way. I mean, Joe Rogan says this shit all the time, but like, for sure, I'm just gonna get a picture of him on the wall. Yeah, like
him with like aura around him. Right. You come in and just kiss him on. You're like, hey, Joe. Oh, Father Joe.
I have a candle. I have a candle that I got at a. It wasn't a yoga place. It was the. What are the sensory deprivation tanks? Okay. And they had those Mother Mary. Candles or like the Jesus ones. Oh yeah. But it's him. Like like as a saint or something.
Yeah. Saint Rogan.
Yeah, I got it with all my weed stuff. Yeah. But like he says that shit all the time. The only way to defeat bad ideas is with good ideas. Yeah. But if you silence everybody, like they are in Canada, they've silenced. I mean, comedians getting sued, threatened to put in jail. Yeah. Jordan Peterson himself. Oh, yeah. Getting his, I think
Kermit the Frog up there. Yeah, he's. Yeah. I love Jordan.
A lot of people don't know.
And he just starts. Yeah, I love Jordan Peterson.
I do too. I tried listening to his book. It was long because it's just him going in these stories. I'm like, dude, I want the 12 rules of life.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just read the book.
Yeah. No, he's great.
Actually,
Yeah. I can't do his voice so well, but great though. Yeah.
He I think he got some licensing or licenses taken away from him because he's not willing to change his speech. They send him to classes, stuff like re-education.
Re-education,
Like,
yeah.
are you guys kidding? Like, read out say out loud what you're making these people do in 2024.
Crazy.
And you're telling me that's not equivalent to what happened in the 30s?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they want to erase history. That's their whole thing. Look what they've done to all our historical figures here.
Yeah.
I listened to it in A Whole New World, or what is that book? It's like 1984, but it's like an equivalent of it, except it being like a totalitarian government. It's like, oh, everyone's love and peace. And I think it's A Brave New World. Yeah, it is. A Brave New World. And they talk about it that, and I'm going to totally butcher this, but roughly, that the person in power now, if you control the past, you can write the future.
Is that Fahrenheit 9/11?
I think they say it in
Yeah.
multiple books. They say
Is that
it,
what you
but
just said?
A Brave New World.
No. The book before that.
1984.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's the one that 2 + 2 = 5 and Thought Crimes. That one's a great book. Great book, by the way. I've listened to it numerous times. Like, it's because it gives you an idea of like what living in one of those governments would be like Big Brother's watching. They're always watching, and they already are, right? Like, our government already watches and listens to everything.
It's the protesters, the actual peaceful protesters, the truckers that were up there during all that stuff. Nobody burned anything down. No one broke
cleaned up. They cleaned up after themselves. Like, yeah.
There were people that were trying to infiltrate, which were probably actors. We're Nazis. This. Look at, and we're also truckers.
Yeah.
And they kicked them out. And the only way they could stop them in their mind was draining their bank accounts, cutting them off from their own money, destroying their companies. Yeah. Oh, what do you mean you're not going to deliver this stuff? We're gonna take all your money, and it's okay because it's in whatever name of whatever they're doing, so it's okay if they're doing it. But
he's something else up there.
Have you seen the Civil War movie yet?
No, I don't even know.
You gotta watch it. It's good. Like, it has some liberal undertones.
I assumed Nick Offerman he's supposed to be Trump.
Yeah, you could see it with his lips in the movie.
He's like, they say I'm the greatest president. I don't, but that's what they say. That's not me. I swear.
I've never said it.
I would never say that. I accept it. I love the compliments, but I would never say that. Yeah, love that guy.
But it's basically like the trope, or not trope. Journalists. It's a story about journalists and how hard and sad their job is because they have to do what other people can't. And that would be awesome, and I would 100% be in the boat of, hell yeah, these guys rock, if I hadn't just been through the past 5 years of what has been shoved down our throats.
Oh, yeah.
I would 100% be on that train. But the movie's awesome. Super gory, super not really gory, but like very. If you've ever seen Dead Bodies, and you watch that movie, you're gonna be like, damn,
totally.
That's whoa. Yeah. So in that sense, it's a really good movie, and it definitely gives you the vibe of, something like this could happen in real life.
The only reason I was like, is it just feels like more propaganda.
Yeah.
Right. And I say that because that's what it is at this point with all the movies and all the things you see it, that it's like, push this. Oh, we need this and this in the movie because of this and that. And it's like they lost their touch of film, that it's like, tell a story.
Yeah.
Like, the strength of your story should, characters are a part of it, but do people really care that they need to count like the number of there shouldn't be any whites in it, and there should be this and that, and we need to cover this. There's for sure a group of people who do, but for the most part,
right,
people are seeing through it, and that's why box office, like Disney, so many people have just tanked, and their stocks are
A lot of the movies have
garbage.
tanked, specifically because they keep trying to.
push the mess.
South Park did it best.
Yes. Yeah. Put a chick in it, make her gay.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's it. I know.
And they in the Civil War movie, there's a black chick who's working with the SEAL team guys that are going in, and it's like not that she's a black woman, but just that she like they're not going to just have other soldiers join their tactical movement just because and be at the front of it. Like they're gonna be like, okay, we have been training for this. We've been doing these movements for the past week or whatever as our team. You know, like
you're
they're not
just gonna throw a
hey E3, follow
come
me.
Come on, buddy, don't shoot me in the back. Let's go. Yeah, fuck no.
Magazine pulls out Skittles like out of his magazine pouch.
Dude, no, I hear you. It's one of like with that I have a hard time sometimes with war movies, understanding firearms and so on. I'm like, dude, oh God, what the hell are they doing? I'm like, that would not work that way. And I try to be immersed in movies, and some of that instantly, like I can't remember what movie it was I was watching. I think it was like a Marvel superhero movie or whatever, but all the M4s they had no sights, and they're all like shooting. Like, you have no sights, bro. Like, I get being pretty close, you could point shoot and be all right,
hip fire,
right? Yeah. Like, well, good luck shooting any further than that,
right?
Not very real.
Dude, same issue. I just watched a movie and I can't. My wife probably would know the name of it, but I was watching it and it just felt like it felt like a super liberal person who was hanging out with soldiers for maybe a month or so, went off of that, and then made everything in their movie or whatever look like that, and it just looks like dog shit. The collars on their ACs are up and
they got beards, and you're like, I don't think so, buddy. Yeah.
Or the Civil War movie is good though.
Okay.
In the
I'll
sense
give it a
that
go.
It's like, fuck yeah, if this happened, like
I'd give it a go.
I'd be in the town that like the regular guys, ex-vets took it over to make sure everybody's safe.
Yeah.
You know,
that's been with how everything's boiling. We're almost at a boiling point here, essentially, with all this lunacy. But because you think through it, right? That's the way our brains are wired now. Being in the military, you essentially plan for the worst but expect the best, right? Because if you don't go for that range, you're just gonna fail no matter what.
Yeah, like because when it happens, you're just gonna be sitting there with your thumb up your ass.
Yeah,
like
help me. Ooh.
Well, and a good thing to do that I try and get my kids to do is like think it out. Okay, Civil War happens.
Totally.
What are we gonna do? Are we every time a tank or an MRAP or something comes down the road to tell us what to do? Are we gonna fight them? I'm gonna hide my guns. I'm gonna hide everything. I'm gonna at least have a gun on me. And
for sure.
We're either going to stay where we're at and barricade the shit out of everything, or like it just depends on what the issue is.
Totally.
But if another military takes over, like we're not going to like put our little base as the home. I'm going to go somewhere else, shoot over there, and then go back. You know,
that's how it's always been. That's just basic tactics.
But a lot of people don't think this stuff through, and they're like, "Oh man, Civil War!" Like the Boogaloo Boys. They made the Boogaloo Boys look like turds in the tactically.
Okay.
In the movie,
always do usually.
You know, but like they're wearing like airsoft gear and stuff like that. Like I know a lot of people that are in that atmosphere that are veterans, and like that one overzealous guy.
Oh yeah,
that's like oh dude, I can't wait, man.
Like,
Civil War's coming.
Like I don't think you haven't probably been to war, or you have, and it was just a very watered down. Like you were just in like OP, just sitting there on a computer. Like I wish I was out there with them. This sucks. I'm in the AC, just freezing my ass off. Like no,
you want to join? I've drank too many Rippets.
Yeah,
you want to join our team because we need to work on our tactics and CQB and stuff like that. And it'd be really cool if you could join because we got a couple other guys, but they're not really savvy. So like you'll have those guys, and then you got the
sure.
guys that are more. They have their group of friends.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the same page.
Totally.
They're preppers.
Yeah.
They have firearms.
Yeah.
And they're ready. They don't just have one AR-15 and one
Right.
pistol. They have multiple AR-15s, rifles, pistols,
ammo, food,
thousands
water.
of rounds. Those guys
Yes.
are ready. Those guys are waiting, or they got radios
For sure.
just in case stuff goes down.
Yeah.
They have like one of those tin garbage cans with foil
Yeah.
lined on the inside, like a Faraday cage.
Yeah.
Like those guys are really prepared.
For sure.
They're waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
And it's more of like a better to have it, not need it, than need it, not
Totally.
have it.
That's why we have food. I have a bunch of food and water.
But people are completely fine with, let's give billions of dollars to Russia, or to Ukraine, or
which
or
I mean, they're just
Israel.
stuffing their pockets with. Like, I'm sorry, that war, you're not going to win it. Just pure numbers.
Yeah.
That's usually war is a numbers game, right? Until you get into like big bombs and nukes, which
That's what I'm scared
if
of.
that happens, we might as well all just kiss our asses goodbye.
I'm scared of that happening.
Oh,
here more now than any
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Just because it's like, how many times can we mess with Russia? How many times can we mess with Hamas? Like Hamas should
Whoever.
just be destroyed. But like,
Yeah.
how many times can we keep doing this stuff, sending money, doing this, that, and the other, sending weapons,
You're
and
just
think that nothing's going to happen?
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have the door open to the house.
Yeah.
The house is America.
oh yeah.
You left the door open.
Yeah, like I've told people this, and again, I'm not going back to the Civil War before we move on. I hope none of that happens in all reality, because it will be brutal and destroy us. Like, it's not going to be like we win, we lose.
Yeah.
No, and the lines
gonna be
aren't.
a
It's not going to
decade or
be
two
north
of-
south.
Yeah.
It's the lines are going to be crazy. It's going to be brutal, and I would never. I told, and I believe this still. It's like, yeah, we've been to war. I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to, for sure, right? I would make that exception, because it's like, well, if it's me and my wife, yeah, I'm keeping her safe no matter what. Even if it's like my life ends, sure. If she's safe and alive, I'm happy. But no, I will never just be like, yeah, we need to do that. That's insane. That is crazy. It will just destroy. Our country's already in a plummet downward. It'll just be the nail in the coffin, and then open us up for China, Russia, whoever, to just be like, hi, we own this now.
Well, in the Civil War movie, they disbanded the FBI, and like they make that. You know what I mean? Like you laughed, but it's because you know that the FBI is a joke right now.
Oh, yeah.
The CIA, all these three-letter agencies are all jokes, and they're setting it up to where now when Trump gets elected,
right.
I really hope he does. Just not to like, I'm not oh my god, I hope Trump wins, but like what Biden's doing is
brutal.
Yeah, we're dying as a country. It's not good the way things are going, and it's going to get worse. And when we cut that water off to money for people that are here illegally, immigration's good. Legal immigration is good.
Totally.
When you're coming here illegally and then damn it.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, and we're back.
No, but I agree though. Legal immigration is great, but like what they're doing, any country that's an enemy of ours, right? Which is many. If your enemy said, "Our door's open to whoever needs it," like if you're looking, things are going on in your country, you need to escape. For sure, there are those people, and I think they do need help. But there's other ways to help them, not just be like, "Come on in, let's do this."
Here's our taxpayers.
Yeah.
Money.
Well, and they're not even like because I saw, and who knows what the number is, but roughly. What does it say on there? High temp.
All right.
Yeah.
We're back, but not all the way back because my camera's.
We're back again. Again.
No, and I do agree. We're gonna let the camera cool off, and then I'll cut it back on. But it's. I completely agree. There's definitely a difference. It's just whether or not What are people going to do when they're not getting any more money on their card? They're not getting any more food.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to work?
Yeah.
What are they going to do then? Are they going to steal stuff
Crime.
and then sell it on the street?
It's already gone to that from what I've seen, right? I don't live in, I mean, we have a bunch in Denver here, but I mean, look in New York and Chicago and some of those places, like I hear, and right, I'm only hearing things from YouTube and so on, which it's not like I'm dismissing it or anything, because it's like, okay, you still have to listen to it again, and you maybe do more research and so on.
Well, and you're physically seeing it on video.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just you hearing from, Billy down the road. Like, you're physically watching this on a video. You're just trying to figure out like what out of all of this, what's true.
Totally. A lot of it's like independent news, and that's where I really get my news, is more independent news sources, because they either will say like, yeah, I stand here, like their possible bias is one direction, which is fine. I think it's just best if you're upfront where you stand and not pretend to be, one of the big like corporate news outlets.
Right.
They're like, oh yeah, we're conservative. Well, we don't do that. We give the news.
Yeah, we give you the truth.
Yeah, it's like, no, you don't. You give me a bunch of fucking opinions.
I just watched the guy who's not affiliated with any of you guys take the exact same video, and like, for instance, one of those big news agencies, we were up at the Dakota Access Pipeline, and this was during all the protests and this, that, and the other, and it got crazy. It got so crazy that when we went through, when it was horrible on the inside, piles of garbage, people hurting each other, essaying each other, the whole 9 yards, robbing, stealing each other, which is other protesters. Like, they were doing it to each other. As we were leaving after we videotaped all this, people started surrounding us and then trying to stop us. What were you guys doing in there? Who do you think you are? What'd you videotape? We're going to need to get that tape from you. And then yelling over for like some other guys to come over and take it from us. And like, I'm holding my my journalist or my cameraman by the scruff of his jacket, because he was like a foot shorter than me, and I'm like halfway picking him up, and the other half like ready to shoot somebody. And the guy starts putting his hands on the camera, and I shove him back, and it went down from there. Everybody, they were still acting crazy, but it was like, I have no problem hurting you to keep this guy safe.
Yeah, that's my job.
And once that clicked in that guy's brain, he was like, he started backing up and, whoa, I don't know why you're doing this. So it definitely had its moments, but people will play the victim just to make you look like the bad guy. For sure. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think what they're going to do is, if Trump does get elected, they're going to I think what they're going to do is turn everything off for all these people they just let in the house. And they're going to be like, oh, what food? I didn't do it. Trump did it. And people are going to start going crazy, because what else are you going to do? You have no money, no food, no way of supporting your family. I don't blame people for coming here at all. It's America.
They said doors open. I'm sorry, if I was
free shit.
If I was in another country, a third world most likely, and they said the most powerful country, one of them at least, most powerful country in the world goes, doors open, come on in. You wouldn't just come on in? Like, it's pretty simple.
But they're going to play themselves as that victim. And they're going to make whoever it is that's in charge look like they did it, not us. It was them. Why are you mad at us?
That's been their thing the whole time. And again, I hate that we're so politically divided, because I believe most people, we agree on probably 80% of everything, right? And there's just those few things that people disagree on that are very, like the Second Amendment, abortion, so on, right? Like those type of things we disagree on. which we all have the right to, right? Everyone has the right to stand where they do, especially in this country. That was the whole point of it, was like, no government should control you or tell you what to do, what to say. Yeah. We're here is like, we kind of, in my mind, we're supposed to kind of monitor, maybe not monitor the world, but we're supposed to do our trade and so on, not tell each state how to live and do this and that. And it really opened my eyes, again, during COVID, with the vaccine stuff, that when Trump was getting it going and was like, yeah, I'm getting this vaccine, it's going to be great, it's going to save millions. They all, and when I say they, like the Democrats right now who are in power, were like, I'll never take that. I won't do that. But then the second the election happened, which you can talk about that, that's a whole thing. But
oh, trust me, you're definitely coming back on the podcast.
But they instantly flipped.
Yeah.
Like,
he started Operation Warp Speed, and to get these things going
for the elderly.
Yes.
For the people that were at severe, because again, COVID was deadly, but not to us.
If you had comorbidities, if you were old, elderly, if you
diabetes, fat, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and not that like, oh, fat, no, sorry. Like, if that's something you can change. Yeah. Like if you have these health, like you said, comorbidities. Yeah. It was a bitch without them. Yeah. Like, it put me on my ass multiple times. I got it I never got like tested for COVID because, like, I'm sick as shit. Oh, there's this virus going on. It's probably COVID. Probably. Yeah. Like, oh, I have severe headaches. I never was one of those people like, I couldn't sleep and this and that. I just had crazy headaches. I'm like, God, this is so annoying. Yeah. I'm just heating pad and just lay there, drink water, take medicine.
But for a lot of people, it was bad.
Totally.
For myself, I couldn't eat anything. Yeah. That's why I dropped so much weight.
Totally.
It was bad.
Yeah.
But for a lot of other people, it was like, all right, I'm better. Like,
they didn't even have a clue they had it.
But there were ways to help make that transition even easier for people.
Totally.
That they were just shutting down that conversation completely.
Which is insane.
Well, if you start telling people how to fix this in any other way other than a vaccine, then you're going to make people vaccine hesitant. Yeah. And if you do that, you're killing old people. You don't like old people? You bigot?
Piece of shit. Yeah. That's literally what they did.
It is, especially if you're able to literally show clips of them saying it exactly like that.
Yeah.
But I definitely think I completely lost my train of thought prior. What were we saying?
Just like Warp Speed. Ago? That the Democrat, they flip flopped. Again, I think it was just money. Money got involved. Look at during COVID the companies that made the most money: Pfizer, Walmart, and there's one other. But
pretty much like any store that started doing shopping from home.
And they even let you go to Walmart. Well, you can go to Walmart, and remember they did the lines on the floor. You got to walk down this aisle this way. Or in restaurants, it's like you can sit down and take your mask off, but when you're standing, you'll get it.
Oh, dude, I got
COVID sits around 4 feet. When you're sitting, you're safe. Like, what?
I got in a fight at the airport on the way to Minneapolis for the protest.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing all that BS with United, with the mask. And you could eat, so you could pull it down, and eat, and drink, but you had to put it right back up once you're done. So what I did was I just had a bunch of raisins and almonds and goldfish,
constantly,
super slow.
Sir, sir, you're bending our rules. What are you doing?
They didn't mess with me. No. It was the other passenger.
Oh, totally.
It was another passenger. Yeah. As we're getting off, this guy and his wife is like bitching at me the whole time because as we're walking out and they're in front of me and she's like, you didn't wear your mask. Ugh, you're disgusting. You're the reason why this is still going on. Yeah, exactly.
You didn't wear your mask. Yeah.
As we're walking, she's like, and I go, oh no, what are you gonna? And the husband turns around and he's like maybe 2 feet in front of me because we're walking.
Yeah.
Through the little tunnel to get in to where the seats are, and he turns around and steps towards me like he's going to punch me or something because I was like, oh no, to his wife. And the second he did that, Matt was standing behind me. He had no idea what was going on, and I shoved him so damn hard. He flew back like 3 feet and was on the ground like, why'd you do that? And I'm like, don't you ever step at me like you're going to hit me, old man.
Posture. Yeah, it's like you're not just going to let someone punch you.
Exactly.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. But he looked at me like I had done something wrong, and I'm like, dude, you went from 2 to 3 feet in front of me to 1 foot in front of me like you're going to hit me.
Yeah, no.
I'm not going to let
aggressive.
that happen.
That's being aggressive. That's threatening.
The cops went over to me and were like, we were told that you hit somebody. And I was like, no. This is what happened. And they're like, oh, okay, bye.
Yeah.
So that was the end of it. But it was just dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
All the time.
Bro, for sure.
And I think it will get 10 times worse. Not to like make this the world's gonna end, guys. But I think it's going to get even worse when people turn everything off.
Yeah.
And then point fingers at whoever's standing there.
Yeah.
You know?
And their supporters. And
what are you gonna do? Look at what you guys did.
Yep. You voted for this. Yeah, we got to get rid of them. They're the problem.
People will freak out and say, 10 people die per year because of police or because of firefighters or whatever it is. 30,000 people a year die from falling and hitting their head.
Yeah.
Are we going to get rid of sidewalks?
Yeah. Make helmets.
So that people can't trip?
Everyone has to wear helmets everywhere they go?
Like what are you going to do? Are we going to buffer everything, or are we going to stop letting people completely, completely pussify?
Yeah.
And I'll probably bleep it, but
yeah, whatever.
It
is.
You're making everybody so damn sensitive that you can't even have a conversation.
Nope.
And if you try to have a conversation, they feel like they're validated in assaulting you.
Or they say words or violence.
Yeah.
There's like, zero violence. I have my First Amendment.
I can say whatever I want as long as I'm not calling for violence.
No.
As long as I'm not
threatening.
Within good bounds.
For sure, totally.
But I then have my Second Amendment to protect my First Amendment.
Yes.
So you can't only have one.
No.
You can't get rid of the Second Amendment, because once you get rid of guns, what are you going to do then? What are you going to do when you want to say something and you don't like what's going on, so you go to protest, and then they show up and just beat the shit out of you?
Yeah.
Or say, you can't do this. And if you do, you're going to jail.
Yeah, totally.
Like, what do you do then? Are you just going to, sit down and shut up? Or are you going to... How are you going to stand up and do something about it?
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. And again, I don't try to be doom and gloom, but kind of what the world is right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little again, just open your eyes and see the direction of everything.
Yeah.
If you think back again to Trump, and I'm a Trump supporter, I don't care, I admit it, because at first I wasn't. I'll be honest, I was like non-political all through the military, and even until I got out, I'm like, what are they going to do? It's the same wheel turning. I saw, without even being political, I'm like, it's the same wheel. Everything's going to keep changing. It doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican, whoever. It's all one. They're all politicians.
Right. I feel like it's a smaller people, not smaller people, but like not the top, but the people that are midway up there that are still in charge of a lot of stuff.
Totally.
It's not them saying, this is what we're going to do now.
Yeah.
It's them turning a blind eye and letting things happen.
Or their money. They're getting paid because their backers go, do you want to get reelected? Do you like these millions of dollars and this personal security? And do you like this lavish life?
Yeah.
I don't know. You sign this bill, and we'll help you keep it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of it, I believe.
By the way, the bill also includes like 100 other things. Like the bill, you're trying to pass a bill for the border or whatever. Like, bring more food to people that are dying of starvation. By the way, in the back of that bill, it also says that we're going to send $10 billion to Israel. We're going to send $60 billion to Ukraine and all these other things.
Money.
And if you don't sign this, then you don't like feeding people that are starving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's how they spin it. And instead, or they do well, here's this bill that's thousands of pages long. We're deciding it today.
Yeah, you read it.
What? I read it like 3 words a minute. What the hell are you
with
talking
buzzwords
about?
and
Yeah.
stuff that sound like one thing but
Totally.
actually mean another.
Yeah,
And
and it's all in lingo, like legal lingo, so it's not easy to read or comprehend. As we all know, when you vote and read that, and you're like, wait a sec, is this for or against this thing I'm trying to vote on? You have to like look into it more. Yeah, it's crazy what they're doing in that way. And I mean, it's been like that for so long, and that's what their argument is, well, like, this is how it is. No,
Right.
it shouldn't be. And that's why I see certain people trying to get into Congress and the House and running for president, like RFK, who's like, I'm not for this. And again, it's like I said, I support Trump, and that whatever. I don't care if people like boo or yay or who cares. That's my choice to make. Yeah, that's my choice to make. Just like, if you want to vote for Biden, sure.
vote
Like,
for who you want.
that's the greatness
At
of
least
this
do
country.
some research.
Yeah, you should. And most people will vote, oh, I vote D till the death or R to the death. It's like, no, in all reality, if a Democrat came out and said, oh, I this and this, like kind of like Tulsi Gabbard is.
Yes.
Like she's like Republican now, we're independent, but
They kicked her out of the
well, yeah,
Democratic
yeah, because
everything. She's a Russian spy. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh God, oh no, I'm gonna be
But I-
canceled.
Yeah, right.
Help me.
But I agree, I 100%
Yeah.
agree on that, and I definitely think that if there was some, it doesn't matter. I'm not a Republican, Democrat,
Yeah,
whatever.
for sure.
I'm a let me do me, you do you.
Yeah.
If I could pick things, I want my money that I send to the IRS to the country in taxes. I want that itemized. I want to know what my money is going
it should
towards.
be. That's what we have to do.
Or let me choose.
Yeah,
You're just saying, hey, here, do your taxes, and if you do them wrong, it's on you, and you're going to owe even more money.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, just make sure we have our money. Punk.
Thanks. Yeah.
Like,
Punk ass bitch.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we're not going to have to send you anything.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to let you pick and choose what you want to send your tax money
Totally.
to. But if a Democrat came out with that, said that they're not going to mess with our
Totally.
gun rights,
No.
and Tulsi Gabbard, and I think if Tulsi Gabbard joined Trump as a VP,
Oh man.
unstoppable.
Totally. I agree.
I would go out of my way to go out with signs like,
Totally.
hey,
Yeah.
you're an idiot if you don't
sure.
vote for
Well,
these guys.
Well, and again, with it all, they've made it such a divide between us. Well, if you believe this, you're this, or you believe that, and that goes both ways. Like that goes people who are like, "Oh, libtards." Again, or you know, like,
You're gonna have idiots on both sides.
Totally. There are.
full ends of the
yeah,
spectrum.
and most people just aren't educated. That's what it really comes down to. Most people aren't truly educated in what their politicians or whoever or what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I, again, like you said, you have a lot of time on you. I do too. So I will just deep dive these things.
Yeah.
And like one example is like insider trade. If we did that, our asses are done.
Yeah.
So many of our congressmen and people in the House do it. I
Nancy
saw
Pelosi is really good.
She's a pro, dude. I must just
You know, somebody started a company specifically copying what Nancy
Yeah.
Pelosi does
I would.
in the stocks,
Yeah.
and they've gone up in millions, and it brought like a bunch of attention.
I
to it,
bet
'cause
it
it's like,
did.
Oh, I'm just following her practices.
Yeah. Why would I not?
Am I doing something wrong?
There's so many. It's so much of that happens that I saw this bar graph. I don't remember who showed it, and it's out there somewhere. But it showed like one of the best like professional traders out there, and they made their bar was like so long. It's like, oh, okay, like that's like what they did, doing it fairly. You think, right? That's what they're supposed to do because they have rules they have to follow. Then it showed all of our politicians how much they made, and that bar was like nothing to them.
Right.
And that's Republican, Democrat. That's both.
Right.
That's
All of
all
them.
parties.
Yeah.
And you just see that, and it's like, okay,
It's a kick in the teeth.
yeah, and we're supposed to vote these people in to represent us, but they get there and get power hungry. They get all this money, and they go. It's like kings and queens all over again.
If they're willing to fight the way that they fight to get all of that ill-gotten, not all of it's ill-gotten, but
Yeah.
all of that money,
Totally.
and then you think they're not going to be malleable when someone threatens to take it away.
Mm-hmm. Why would you not be?
Yeah. It's gross.
Totally.
It's disgusting, and we're so much better than them.
Yeah. I know. That's what they say. They say I'm the best. They say I'm better than them. Not me. I don't say this.
No, I think I've got family members that just see snippets of the news.
Totally.
And they don't do those deep dives because they're not as bored as I
Totally.
am.
Yeah, for sure.
So all you'll hear are, well, I'm not going to vote for the guy that has 60 indictments to go to, and it's like, all right, what is each one for?
Yeah.
Because 30 of them are for the exact same thing.
In different states.
That is completely not a felony.
Yeah.
You know, another one of them is for, you know, Trump paying a retainer to his lawyer, and supposedly the lawyer, which he probably did pay his lawyer to pay off somebody to be like, hey, I'm running for president, shut the fuck up.
Totally.
You know, and...
But even with that, I heard, again, hearsay, whatever, but that she came out and said, like, it didn't even happen. Like, she signed papers on it, which, again, and no one's perfect by any means, and that's a lot of people where they trash Trump. Is like, well, look how he talks and this and this. He talks like the rest of us. What the hell do you mean?
Give me someone better, and I will vote for them. I don't care that I'm not stuck on Trump.
For sure.
I'm not, you know... If you gave me somebody that was articulate, could hold a conversation, and not read the teleprompter, pause for applause.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
4 more years.
I just watched that one too. But
Knucklehead.
Shit like that completely turns me off to wanting to vote.
Totally.
And then I'm stuck between shit and a shit sandwich.
Totally.
It's like, it's both shit. One just has bread on it.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Well, and I get with Trump, and my argument there is like, I just look at, like I was saying, I was non-political, and when him and Hillary went against each other, I was like, I'm not voting for either. Like, oh, the guy that did a reality show, like, are you kidding me? And then I saw how he ran the country, and I saw the difference, and that's what opened my eyes. Was like, whoa, everyone has more money now. The economy's doing really well. We're a mass exporter. Like, that's what really drew me in. I'm like, who cares how he speaks? Like, yeah, the guy speaks the truth.
If
like,
I don't have to break the bank to get gas or food, when eggs aren't like $12, like that is what I'm voting for.
That's what matters.
I don't care if he, grabs anybody, or not that he grabs anybody, but that he talks about how some women are sluts. Like, men are too.
Totally.
A lot of
sorry, locker room talk. Has anyone? I'm sorry. There's things that all of us have said that are like, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
I mean, I've never said anything.
Yeah,
like
actually,
that.
no.
And the
me
people
either,
that know
totally.
me know I would never.
No, me neither. I don't have a potty mouth or say things off the wall or crazy
when
stuff.
people are trying to get that high road, though, like they make it really clear, like they've never done anything ever.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, okay. If you knew me through high school, you knew I said some wild shit. Like, sorry, was it appropriate always? No. That's just it, though. That's how you learn and grow, and you're like, ooh, yeah, that's insensitive. I probably should have thought through before I spoke. And now it's like, that's what I try to do now. And as I speak and think and so on, is do that with everything. And I try to be as kind with my words as possible when I can be. There are times that you just have to tell someone, like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, do you hear yourself? Like, you're having you're having a fucking pity party. Grow up. Yeah. Sometimes people need to hear that, and the tough love is good. That doesn't work with everybody.
There's something, actually, I was just reading this, and I put it down in my notes specifically because, and it was by Abigail Shrier, I think, and she's an author, and she wrote a book, Irreversible Damage.
Okay.
Bad Therapy, Why Kids Aren't Growing Up. And she really hits on rumination and thinking hard about something over and over until it becomes until it begins to make things worse. So if you're just sitting there having that pity party and sulking in your own shit, like
Yeah.
that's what you're gonna get. You're
Totally.
gonna get shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel bad. You're gonna keep thinking about the things
Yeah.
that are making you feel bad, and it's just gonna get worse and worse.
Totally.
And worse.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I wanted to start the podcast, was so that I could talk to other people.
Totally.
Get people talking.
Totally.
About PTSD,
Yeah,
anything,
for
something
sure.
to get other soldiers out,
Yeah.
or veterans out. Get programs together.
Totally.
Foundations, and that's I'm glad we ended up meeting through
For sure.
Marshall,
Totally.
through Combat Recovery Foundation. I've met like 4 other people.
Oh,
that
totally.
are just been perfect.
Yeah.
Meeting through there. So I definitely plan on interviewing a lot more
Good.
people.
And I think that needs to be done. I know we've talked about all sorts of shit, and not really that, which I know that's what this is about.
Right.
But I think it's, you need to have some fun and just kind of talk.
I know.
Just talk about whatever, and people can.
I'm gonna
Listen
figure out
or
how
not,
to
but-
get like I got the TV behind me, but
sure.
get something planned like conspiracy videos.
Right.
We'll just sit here and be like, yeah, actually, did you know
Right.
what the water does to the frogs?
Yeah.
Turn the frogs gay. They're turning the frogs gay, I swear.
I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
kind of
but
retarded.
dude, I definitely want to have you back on.
Yeah, for sure, man.
For people watching, do you have other than or if you just want to focus on Combat Recovery
sure.
Foundation, is there anything you want to say to people? Any links, anything like that?
No, I mean, right now, I haven't started yet with Marshall and the Combat Recovery Foundation, but I will be. I know with that, we're trying to kind of spread what we're doing. Not just, I mean, obviously it's suicide prevention with veterans. But with that, I'm also trying to look into like addiction counseling and getting certified, not as like a legit counselor. Well, it would be legit, but not through like getting my master's and so on.
Right.
So I have my bachelor's in psychology. I thought about getting my master's, and then just seeing the way colleges are going, I'm like, oh yeah, you're not actually getting educated. It just,
My mom's going through either getting a degree or certifications for addiction counseling.
Okay.
As well.
yeah, I've found some. I might have to see like where she's going through.
Dude, definitely.
But trying to kind of go that way, because I know for myself, I'm an addict. Like, I don't hide it. I don't pretend like, oh, you know, I used to like to drink a lot, but I didn't have an issue. Oh, I totally did.
Oh, yeah.
I blacked out all the time. Like, literally almost every time I drank, I blacked out. Like, I'll talk to other people about it.
Right.
Like, I blacked out like twice. It was terrifying. I'm like, I blacked out every time. It was really
You don't
terrifying.
do that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I realized I had an issue, needed to stop, tried to stop numerous times, could not. I was just like the feeling, the peer pressure, all of it. So yeah, I honestly, an acid trip is what started that journey for me, and just my brain going,
getting sober.
yeah,
Nice.
my brain, literally, I just was like, you know, tripping on acid, and my brain was just like, hey, you know, you can quit drinking.
Right.
Like, it was that simple of a thought, was like, just quit.
That's awesome.
And I just kind of sat there, and my couple buddies I was with told them, I'm like, I'm going to quit drinking. And they kind of just went, all right, like, do you want to watch this trippy video?
Good for you, but
Yeah. No, well, again, because you're all so in your own
Right,
head.
right.
I just said it out of the blue. Like,
Right.
what are you talking about? And I haven't drank since then.
I love you, Dad.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck's going on with that?
Well, that brought stuff up with my dad too, but
I was talking to my buddy Cody about this, about sobriety and the issues that a lot of vets have
Totally.
when it comes to drinking,
Yeah,
drugs, and stuff
for
like
sure.
that when they get out,
Yeah.
and not being able to cope with things that you've been through or
Sure.
seen or whatever.
Yeah.
And a lot of my family's in sobriety.
For sure.
My mom, 20-something years,
Good.
clean and sober.
Good for her.
Her husband,
Yeah.
clean and sober for like 100 years.
Yeah.
He actually just had a birthday. I'm pretty sure he was like 85 or something.
Wow. Good for him. I mean, it's not easy. Like I've known numerous people who have tried, and they might go like, "I'll do a year," because that's how mine started.
Yeah.
I was like, just go 1 year completely sober, no weed or anything. And I did a lot of growth in that year, and realizing like, yeah, you kind of have to deal with your shit. Like you can't just get high or drunk and like, okay, that'll be fine.
Right.
No, I like faced it all. I'm like, oh man, I kind of need to grow up and like get away from substances, and I did. After that year, I went back to smoking weed and edibles and so on, but I realized again, I'm an addict. And again, this is just recently that it's been a few months now that I haven't smoked weed or anything, and I probably won't go back. No judgment to whoever uses weed. No, like I don't care. Like I'll do mushrooms here and there, so it's not like I'm completely sober, but I use those more as not to like, I'm going to get just loopy doopy and have some fun.
Right.
Kind of more of like self-searching, kind of your soul-searching kind of thing, you know.
Figure out what works best for you, your brain.
Yeah,
and your
for
body.
sure. And some I'll just microdose, and it'll...
A lot of people in sobriety, though, they completely cut everything off. And I'm a big proponent of... I am also an addict in the sense of like booger sugar.
Oh, yeah.
I
never liked that one.
I will have way too much fun,
sure.
but I know, or not specific to that, but alcohol and stuff.
Yeah.
But now I have a glass of whiskey every now and then, but I'm not drinking every single day like I used to.
Yeah.
And I remember the type of person I was when I was going through a lot of that stuff after getting out, and I don't ever want to be that person again.
No.
But it's good to talk to other people that also are trying to figure out what's going to work best for them, whether it's completely cutting everything off or cutting everything off except for psychedelics to see if that helps a little bit more, or if it changes your perspective on things,
which it does.
Yeah.
It does a lot. I'm telling you, it really, like I said, that acid trip started my sobriety, but then like, and we laugh, but stuff with my dad, like he passed away when I was 17. And we did not have a good relationship. He's very abusive and just not the best guy to me, right? And everyone else had a different image of him. But again, the people who are closest to you normally get the true you. And a lot of that came up. And I'm, at that time, what was it? It was 26? Somewhere around that ballpark. I'm like, bro, what the hell? Well, why am I like feeling these things again? Like, yeah, because I never truly forgave him for all that. And it's not that I needed to forgive him because, oh, well, he should know.
Right.
The dude's dead. How is he going to know? All right? Like, maybe heaven, hell, whatever you believe. Sure, maybe he's in one of them. I would put money on one over the other, but, you know, that's just my opinion. That's what some say, not me. I don't say that. But, and so, yeah, it really kind of opened my mind to just be like, hey man, you kind of have to let this go. This is what's anchoring you down right now of this pain and suffering from when you were a child. You're just carrying it through now to a man that's done and over with. Like, kind of get over it. You know, and it wasn't that simple, but it kind of was. Like, bro, you just got to get over that. Like, he literally cannot hurt you anymore. And if he was alive, at this point, I would have been like, what's your deal? And would have confronted him and talked to him about this. And never had that chance, which sometimes I wish, but also it's like, you can't go back. So here it is. Here I am.
You got to get past the fact that you're not going to have that closure that you wish you had.
Totally. And so, you know, I had to make my own closure, and I did. And it was great for me. And again, there's been so many studies that psychedelics help people who have been through traumatic times, if that's through your childhood, through war, whatever it is. Everyone has their own trauma. We can't ever compare our traumas. That's not ever fair because that's your trauma, right? You could say like, yeah, one time my dad like scolded me really bad and I didn't like it. In my head, I might be like,
did he hit you though?
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? But again, that's your trauma. That's not my place to go and say like, you're a fucking weenie. Like, get the fuck over it. No, that's your personal trauma, and I won't try to compare or judge. Sorry.
No. I wasn't meaning to interrupt.
That's all right.
Your worst experience is your worst experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's bad for
Totally.
you
Yep.
might be nothing to Joe Schmo.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you may be, that's not a big deal at
Yeah,
all. What,
totally.
But to you, it's like the end of the world because it's the worst thing you've ever been through.
For sure.
But I definitely think it just comes back to that ruminating kind of thing. If you just sit and sulk about it all the time
yeah.
and you don't find a way to work through it and work past it, kind of like break it down,
Totally.
talk to somebody about it, whether it's just a friend or to
For
yourself.
sure. Totally.
In the mirror,
Yeah.
like,
No, really.
do something. And psychedelics are definitely a good way to do that
Totally.
with the right people.
Yes, and not just trying to send yourself to the next
Yeah.
universe and be like, I want to see the walls melt.
Where am I?
Yeah, there's a bit of nuance to it, but
He takes some. Alex Jones is sitting
Yeah.
in the corner, like, where am I
Yeah.
now? Like, Jesus.
like, Alex, when did you get
I
here?
think I took way too
Yeah.
much.
What are you talking about? I've been here the whole time. Stop drinking that water.
Yeah, like it again, and that's for some people. Some people are terrified of psychedelics, which is that's okay.
Reasonable.
Yeah, but again,
Yeah.
you also have to realize, like, I'm on a hallucinogen drug.
Yeah.
Like, if you have that, at least that much mind power, and it just, like, when people get way too high, they're like, I'm freaking out. It's like,
Man.
yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, I want to go to Mexico. Woo! Yeah, you need to have that in your mind. Be like, this will stop. This isn't forever. And for some people, again, they shouldn't touch psychedelics because of, if you have a mental, like people who are like bipolar, they should not mess with psychedelics. That's just the truth. It's proven. And some people, it can cause permanent psychosis, which is terrifying.
Even with just weed.
Totally, yeah. I mean, that's why psychosis is at all-time high right now, because people are just ingesting crazy amounts of weed, and the strongest weed ever, because it used to be dirt weed when we were kids, and you'd smoke it, and then like 30 minutes later, you're like, I'm sober and sleepy. I'm going to go to bed.
Afghan weed
Yeah.
back then in the 90s is dirt weed now
Yeah, totally.
in Illinois or
Oh,
something,
yeah.
you know, like,
Here.
Yeah.
God, here it's like ridiculous. Like, well, this one's 100% THC. I don't want that.
that was a big push for me to do this as well, as far as sobriety and
For
stuff
sure.
goes on that side of it, was just because how many people do you see that are homeless specifically because of drug addiction, stuff like
Most.
that?
That's most.
It's a lot of people,
Yeah.
and it's like you could reach a lot of people, especially if you're going at it from the veteran side of things.
Totally.
To get them help. Like,
Yeah.
hey, there's help out there. There's
For sure.
programs.
Yeah.
There's programs that people are trying to put together, therapy that people are trying to put together for veterans
Yeah.
with psychedelics
Totally.
that have helped a lot of people get off of whatever it is that
Substance. Yeah. Whatever substance
stuck
is
on.
there.
So
yeah.
I definitely think there's a lot of stuff out there that is good
For
for
sure.
people and can actually benefit them.
Yeah.
They just have to know about it, want it, because you're not
Yes.
going to want it unless you want it.
Totally.
Your rock bottom is different than everybody
Yeah.
else's, and rock bottom for a lot of people now, I don't think people will hit rock bottom for a while because
No.
they're being handed everything.
Totally.
Like, don't give homeless people money.
No.
Give them food, give them water,
For
shelter,
sure.
stuff like that, but don't give them money because they're going to sell something. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, and it sucks because I hate having that outlook
Totally. But
because you feel like you're not helping anybody, or you feel like you're hindering people
sure.
from helping. But it's like, I've seen so many horrible things involving homeless people, drug
Totally.
addiction, that it's like, no, you're just going to make it worse.
you're enabling. You're just
enabling.
You're just enabling them.
Yep.
That's what it comes to. And most people do that and they're not even aware they're enabling somebody.
Because they have a good heart.
Yes. They're
And
coming.
that is what makes me look like a dick, because I'm like, fuck them. Like,
I'm-
give them water, give them a sandwich, but
For
other
sure.
than that,
Yeah.
tell them to go fuck himself. There's programs out there.
Well, that, and again, if my thought has always been, and again, not to shit on homeless people or anything, but kind of also to do it. But we're
not talking about the homeless people that are, Jane, who just got divorced and now she's homeless. Like,
for sure.
those people are taken care of. And if they're not, there are programs to like
Yeah.
call the cops, non-emergency line. They
For
will
sure.
give you pamphlets.
Totally. Yeah.
Sorry.
And- No. Yeah,
Not those homeless people.
for sure. No, but I mean, it's like when are your eyes gonna open?
Yeah.
It's just like the 1,000-pound life, like that stuff. I see those shows, and they're like, I'm 957 pounds, and I want to change my life now. You're like, what happened to 700, 600,
Yeah.
500, 350 even? Where did it had to happen at that
They
point?
hadn't met Dr. No.
For sure. Yeah.
You are a fat piece of shit. You need to change it. What are you doing? Did you not think that this was going to happen?
Yeah. Well, it
Well, you ate the pizza, so.
3 of them. Yeah. No. But no, it
Have you seen? Is it Andrew? That one crazy dude that like was pulling his hair out. The whole. Oh God.
no.
You would if you like Dr. Noah, you'll
Yeah.
like watching
Okay.
that dude because he's nuts. But I just watched My 600-Pound Life.
Oh yeah.
You know those sisters.
Oh man.
One of the larger ones, she
Yeah.
lost a bunch of
For
weight.
sure. Yeah.
But now her body's smaller, but her head's like the same size.
Yeah.
So she looks like a cat that got shaved.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I
It's
know.
like a
Yeah.
big. I know I sound like a dick, but I completely
Yeah.
agree.
I mean, at least she lost the weight.
yes,
But it's like, again, how did you let yourself go that far? Like, I got to 260 pounds when I got out of the Navy.
Yeah.
Again, I was also lifting weights, trying to get large.
right.
And it clicked in my head. I looked at myself and was just like, God, you look like dog shit.
Doing this wrong.
Yeah, you look like shit, bro. And you feel like shit. You are sleepy. You don't feel good. You need you need to lose weight. Like, what are
Yeah.
we trying to do here? You're not going to be
Right.
a strong man. Powerlifting, you're too heavy for how strong you are. Like the reality of the world, I looked at
Right.
it and went, I want to be a strong man. I love strong man. And then went, I'm not going to use steroids. So how am I going to do
Could be
this?
Brian Shaw.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like, no, but you're not. You're 5'11". You're not fucking 6'9".
Yeah.
A Frankenstein monster walking around that can lift anything. No. The reality is, I am who I am. Okay, where's my strengths and weaknesses? Cool. There they are. Yeah, let's not do this anymore. Like, you
Right.
still lift weights. I still do. To this day, I lift weights all the time. I love it. That's the greatest outlet for me. I've been doing it consistently since I was 20, minus during COVID, shoulder surgery, a few things like that. But, I mean, positive outlets are good, especially for addicts, because your addictive personality, which we have, doesn't go away.
Yeah.
You cannot dismiss it or be like, oh yeah, I used to drink a lot, but I'm not an addict. No, you are. You are, from the time you realize it till you die. You are one. That's
some
just
are
the reality.
functioning, some are
Yeah, oh, yeah,
non-functioning.
totally. But even that, like, I have a buddy right now who he has severely cut his drinking back, and I'm very proud of him. And psychedelics was part of that, because he started doing mushrooms and kind of walking that path and found God again and so on, which is great for him. He needed that because he would drink roughly a bottle a night or, a 12-pack a night. All these things that they're going to put him in a grave early. I don't want that. He doesn't want that. But again, psychedelics open that door for him to be like, I shouldn't be doing this. And it really, because I've told it, his mom would be like, can you talk to him about, not drinking so much? Like, I could tell him all I want, but just like that
Unless
saying.
he wants
Yeah,
it.
you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. You can't make an addict stop. That's it. Until they, like you said, either hit rock bottom or something significantly happens in their life and they sit back and
Have a realization of
yeah. Whoa. Or, and again, I know these guys I went to high school with, they're twins, and the one passed away from, I'm very sure, an overdose on like meth or something along those lines. But
tell if that heat thing's back on. In the middle.
I don't think so.
I think it's about to cut off.
Yeah.
No, sorry, man.
No,
You,
but-
you were saying?
But yeah, and so they're twins. The one passed, completely changed the other's life. Like, he's been sober now. He's doing all sorts of, like, very positive things and, like, completely different person. And, again, I didn't know them that well in high school, but run into him talking, you know, and I'm open with my sobriety and open with me being an addict of alcohol, of adult content online, the whole shebang.
Oh, dude, don't even get me.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Mark about that.
And, again, that's even
coming back from deployment.
Right.
Like,
oh, yeah, because what else? You're not really happy, right? Again, I would work out and stuff, but you lean on that.
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing humans have to do, and you just consume, and then it just desensitizes you, and it's brutal, and it's ruined a relationship of mine with an ex that, yeah, I was doing that instead of with her, and I mean, we had other issues, but that was one, and I won't just throw it all on her because, again, when I drank, I was a fucking monster. Not that I was like doing mean shit, but like, I mean, I get cheating on your girlfriend. That's mean shit. So, but like outside of that, I wasn't like beating up people. All, but you know what I mean? It wasn't who I was. And I became this other person that I just could not stand. Not stand. And it's like, well, you got to stop this. But with that, and I'm open with that too, that I tell people, like, yeah, I don't know. That's not a thing. Like, I have an adult, like the thing you can put on your kid's phone to block. I have that on my phone. Smart. Yeah. And it's not like, oh, I'm tempted now. But I did it when I was having issues with it.
Comes on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's having that brain, dude. Yeah. It's everywhere. Like, everything is so sexualized now.
If all you're doing is eating, working out, and beating off.
Oh, yeah.
And then you come back to the States where it's just like,
oh, yeah.
everywhere.
For sure.
Like, God, that's... Imagine what kids are going through now.
Oh, I can imagine.
The internet's always been in their life. Now it's just, you know, I have this tingle. I'm going to go look this up. And then it's just downhill from there. So,
well, and again, they don't... I don't know. It goes along with social media because that assists in it. There's certain like X in certain places that is on there. Adult content is right there. And it goes like, you read it and like, are you 18? Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yes, I'm 18. And there you go. You're in. Again, and then it just, it'll eat at you just like, I was very promiscuous before I was married, and not that I'm like proud of it, like, oh yeah, I did all this, hell yeah, brother, I got them all. No, like, yeah, I did, but I was.
You can call me Ash Ketchum.
Yeah. Ass Ketchum. Yeah. No, like good. Yeah, I would very promiscuous, and I realized like, I was trying to fill this hole, but also fill this hole inside me, and I thought that would do it. It never did. No. And it started off, you know, like when I was younger, attractive guy, but I didn't realize it then. And so I then get to the military, start working out, fill out, become like, really take fitness seriously. And women start going like, well, hey, what's your name? Hi. And I'm like, this has never happened.
They also had Craigslist around that time, too.
True. Yeah. You can get the back page.
Better than Tinder.
Yeah. Hell yeah. But,
dude, we're hitting 2 hours.
Oh, my.
We've been talking for 2 hours. I want to keep talking.
For sure.
I'm scared the camera's going to, like, cut off again.
For sure. I hear you.
But where can people find you? Or do you work with any other foundations or anything, any contact info if anyone's going through something?
No. Just the Combat Recovery Foundation. Just working there, or will be, because, haven't started yet, but will be. I mean, there's so many, if you're going through anything, there's so many hotlines, which are kind of garbage, but also if you're in a moment of crisis, can assist you. And I mean, there's so many programs, and if anything, I know we've talked about a bunch of mumbo jumbo today, but
we'll do it again.
Which, sorry, but then we just kind of start chatting, but in all reality, saying everything we did to get to the just brass tacks. I don't care where you stand politically or any of that. I don't care. If you are hurting and you need help, I don't care. All that aside, I don't care where you stand, what you believe.
Let me help.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. And again, you could hate me for everything I said. I don't care. And none of that bothers me. Ultimately, I just want to help people who are hurting. I've been there before. It's terrible. It is terrible. And I feel so bad for people who are going through, if they're contemplating hurting themselves or anything. Like, again, I've been there, and I'm so sorry they're dealing with it. And, if you hear this and you're like, oh man, I hope you reach out. And it doesn't even have to be to a professional. Tell someone you love. Just at least talk to somebody and go from there, because you can self-check into places. You can go to the hospital and get 72-hour hold. There's so many things you can do in those ways, or take it upon yourself to look in the mirror and say, what can I change? And it doesn't have to be your whole life. Like we talked about sobriety. What's one thing you can change today that will make you feel better tomorrow? Again, if you're drinking a bottle of whiskey a night, maybe start there.
Yeah. You're going to feel like shit.
Totally.
And, when you cut those things out, whether it's drinking or whatever, it doesn't have to be those things that you cut out, but things that are making you feel like shit
for sure
the next morning or that day.
Yeah.
Slowly chip away at those things. Maybe cut one off for a week.
Yeah.
And if you feel better after that week, maybe don't keep doing that.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Or do it with moderation. And if you know that you can't do things in moderation, then just don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Or talk to somebody that can help you not do it. Get a sponsor. Get someone that you will check up on you.
Totally. Have someone hold you accountable.
Yes.
Because sometimes you need that in those times of like, bro, have you been drinking? Oh, yeah, I had a few. What do you like? Why? What are you doing?
What's the point?
Yeah, like you said, you wanted to stop.
Shitty?
Yeah, like call me. And everyone I hope has a friend or a person like that. But like, again, change isn't easy by any means. It's tough. It's tough to look in the mirror and be like, you're a fucking piece of shit. Like,
That's
look
how they
at
get
you.
to 1,000 pounds.
Yeah,
No
totally.
accountability.
No. Yeah.
No real friends
totally.
to be like,
Mhm.
stop it.
Yes, like, dude, what's going on? Like, if someone is brutally honest with you, and maybe you don't like it at the time, because I've had plenty of those people straight tell me to my face something I didn't like, and I'm like, like piss me off.
You go fuck yourself.
Yeah, but it's been great. It's been really good for me, and those are the people you need to keep in your life, to say the least.
Damn it.
That's all right.
Mine's still going.
Hey, at least we got another. Yeah,
Right. All right. Before we go, thank you for watching.
Yes.
I'll put information at the end, hopefully before this thing cuts off. And it cut off. Damn it. No joke. It cut off. Oh, mother.
We were.
All right. Hey, so the ATF and the FBI cut our feed before they cut it off again.
It's because of the frogs.
Yeah, it was the frog comment. They heard us say Alex Jones's name more than 3 times. So.
It's like Beetlejuice.
But I really appreciate you coming out, man.
For sure.
I'll edit this together to make it all make some coherent sentence.
Yeah.
But hopefully, listening to this, somebody knows there's help out there.
Totally.
You can talk to people through the VA, through any other foundations that
definitely.
they have. I'll put a couple links or something at the end of the video. But there's help out there. All you got to do is ask.
Totally.
And if you want to come on the podcast, shoot the shit.
For sure.
This is exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
Totally. And I mean, again, just know that people love you, for sure. That's one thing that I don't think a lot of people who are in moments of crisis think, but people love you, and you like that's really it. People love you, and you will be missed if you ever, are that low. Just know people love you, and that if you've burned bridges or so on, sometimes you got to suck it up and kind of admit your flaws apologize, do what you have to do, but definitely people love you out there, and don't ever forget that, because I've been to too many funerals that all someone needed to do is reach out, and they felt like they couldn't or didn't want to, or wherever their head was at. And just please, if you're dealing with something, please just reach out to somebody, just somebody. If it's your mom, your dad, whoever, just you got to reach out.
Random people at the VA.
Totally.
Like,
yeah.
There's guys like me that and yourself
For sure.
that are just sitting in there for an appointment or something.
Yeah.
That have time on their hands.
Totally.
And if you tell them you're having a problem or you need help,
Totally.
they will drop everything
For sure.
just to get you to the
Yeah.
right people.
Oh yeah.
That's all it takes. So
Totally.
I completely am with you on
Yeah.
that. Thanks for coming
Yeah,
out, man.
for sure. Yeah.
Hopefully the cameras didn't cut off.
Oh, good. But yeah, no.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. Come back anytime, man. You just say when. I'll be here.
Dude, we're gonna do. Yeah. Depending on what you're up for.
For sure.
Game on.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Take it easy.
Yeah, you too.
Don't let your dingle dangle dangle on the deck. Don't let your dingle dangle dangle on the deck. Oh, pick up your dingle dangle, wrap it around your neck. Pick up your dingle dangle, wrap it around your neck. Well, I got a dingle dangle 10 feet long. I got a dingle dangle 10 feet long. And this is my dingle dangle song.